Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching CNN News 18. This is Nation at 5 with me, Poonam Burde. There's lots lined up for you over the next 1 hour, but let's get you started with some breaking news that's coming in. And this is the centre versus the Aam Aadmi Party government fight in Delhi. There was a legal hurdle as far as the Chief Secretary of Delhi and his extension of his tenure was concerned. The Supreme Court has now refused to intervene in the decision as far as extension of the tenure of the Delhi Chief Secretary Naresh Kumar is concerned. The centre had extended the term by 6 more months. The Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi had objected to it, claiming that there should not be one favourite. Yesterday, during the hearing, the Supreme Court bench did ask the Delhi government, the central government, I beg your pardon, of why exactly they were fixated on this one particular IAS officer. But 24 hours later, it looks like the Supreme Court has refused to intervene. They've refused to pass any orders on the objections that were raised by the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi as far as the extension of tenure is concerned. So the Delhi Chief Secretary, Naresh Kumar, will hold the term for another 6 months. He was due for retirement next month, but he will be the Chief Secretary of the national capital for another 6 months. That legal hurdle has now been crossed. Ananya Bhatnagar now joining us, getting us more details of what exactly transpired in court. Ananya, if you could take us through what exactly happened, because yesterday there were some pointed questions that the Supreme Court asked of the central government of why they really wanted the extension for this one particular IAS officer. But it looks like now they've given in to the arguments made by the central government.
Well, definitely. The central government had been pushing for, Naresh Kumar's extension for another 6 months. And in fact, the Delhi government had been, opposing to it. Today also, Mr. Singhvi, who was appearing for the Delhi government, argued that, it is not only the Delhi government that can decide over Chief Secretary's appointment. But a very, very clear point that was raised by the central government today was that, since the Chief Secretary holds, in fact, subjects relating to land, law and order and revenue as well, which are not under the domain exclusively of the Delhi government but are under another list, and that's exactly why the Chief Secretary's appointment is something that should be done by the central government. And exactly the Supreme Court also held that today, while it refused to interfere into this particular row with regards to the appointment of Chief Secretary, very, very clearly said that there was an ordinance that was brought in with regards to the GNCTD, and that had become that has now become a law, though it is under challenge before the topmost court of the country, but it was not stayed by the Supreme Court. And that's exactly why the Supreme Court cannot do anything at this point of time when it comes to the appointment of Chief Secretary or any kind of a transfer taking place for officers that are dealing with these 3 subjects which are excluded from the state's domain at this point of time. And that's exactly why the Supreme Court felt that this is something that is under the centre's ambit, and the central government can actually go ahead with this particular extension. Remember that the centre and the Delhi government had been at the loggerheads since a very long time. There had been various judgments from the Supreme Court. In fact, 2 constitution bench judgments too have come in from the Supreme Court, and still the issue is not settled with because after the last judgment, the centre had brought in an ordinance which was later brought in as an which was later passed by the parliament as an act at the GNCTD Act, and various amendments were made, and the LG, the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, was actually given certain extensive powers, and due to which today also the Supreme Court held that since that particular law, though it is under challenge before the Supreme Court of India, but no kind of a stay has been granted on it, and that's exactly why it is at this point of time non-disputed. It is law of the land, and that's why the central government is empowered to extend the tenure of Naresh Kumar for another 6 months.